Yes and no people. So the story of the day is ex-cop shot and killed by gunman in Kingston. So basically now me go just read the whole of the headline here and the story and me gonna get a full insight on what go on. So a man said to be an ex-policeman was shot and killed by gunman on Kensington Road in Kingston on Thursday. The deceased has been identified as Kenneth Wilson. Reports are that Wilson was working as a taxi operator when he was attacked. Information is that Wilson was standing outside his car on Kensington Road at about 7 p.m. when two men on foot armed with guns engaged him in a brief conversation before shooting him. His license firearm was also reportedly stolen. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Yeah, people. So that I just for that story there. So I'm gonna move on to the next story. Taxi driver goes to cops to make report is now arrested. A taxi operator who went to the Negril police station to make a report on Wednesday was arrested after it was discovered that he had more than 50 outstanding warrants. 28-year-old Damian Simpson of Whitehall Negril in Westmoreland was nabbed by the police after it was discovered that he was on the station's warrant list. According to reports, shortly after 3 p.m. Wednesday, Simpson visited the Negril police station to make a report. While making the report, his name was mentioned and an alert police officer recognized the name as being part of the station's warrant list. He taken into custody and spent the night in jail. The police disclosed that Simpson had 28 outstanding warrants in the Negril police area, all of which were executed on him. Further checks revealed that he also had 53 outstanding warrants in Hanover and an additional 6 in St. James. Simpson was taken to the Westmoreland Parish Court on Thursday where he pleaded guilty and was fined 130,000 Jamaican dollars. He is to remain in custody until the fines have been settled. Saying you hear that, people? What a drama. I'm gonna hear a video from one of the police officer them we did involve in all right. I'm gonna make on hear theme thoughts on it.
So, a taxi operator visited the Negril police station on Wednesday, December 6th to make a report. However, while making that report, an officer who was quite familiar with the station's warrant list discovered that the same person was on the warrant list with several outstanding warrants. He has since been identified as 28-year-old Damian Simpson of Whitehall in Negril, Westmoreland. While making the report, the officer made checks on the warrant list and realized that he had 28 outstanding warrants, all of which were executed on him. Further check revealed that he had 53 outstanding warrants in Hanover and an additional 6 in St. James. So on Thursday, December 7, he was taken to the Westmoreland Parish Court where he pleaded guilty and was fined $130,000. As it relates to the other outstanding warrants, he will be charged. Those warrants will be executed on him in those parishes where he will face another court to settle those outstanding warrants.
So another headline I know, people. Indicom probing fatal shooting of a gunman by cops in Westmoreland. The Independent Commission of Investigation has launched a probe in the shooting death of a man during a reported confrontation with the police in Westmoreland on Thursday afternoon. The deceased has been identified as Peter Tomlinson, who was of a Newmarket Oval, Savlamar, Westmoreland address. Reports are that about 12:45 p.m. police received a report that there was a man in the Red Road area of the Little London community walking with a firearm in his possession. The cops reportedly responded and saw a man fitting the description of the subject of the report. Reports are that on the approach of the police, the man ran and was chased. During the chase, he allegedly shot at the police who took evasive action and returned the fire. The man sustained gunshot wounds and was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. A Glock 9mm pistol was reportedly recovered from the deceased man's body. So you see it, people, the country run rampant right now. So me I tell you, for Christmas, people don't have to just out and just watch on yourself. You see it. You can't go really go in a certain place unprotected, or if you know say war a go on in a certain vicinity, best you just stay clear of that area of the people. Me I beg you. Yeah, right now the country are going away. Worse in that festive season, your people. So me go just move on to a next story again. Yeah, my people, so you just stay tuned. Tougher penalty coming for perpetrators of domestic violence. The Domestic Violence Act is to be amended to impose tougher penalty on perpetrators of domestic violence, in particular for those abusers who use a firearm during their misdeed. To this end, of amendment bill will be tabled in the Parliament next week, according to Gender Minister Oliver Grange. She made the disclosure on Tuesday while responding to questions from opposition leader Mark Golding, who was responding to an earlier statement made by Grange to mark the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, which was observed on November 25th. It also signaled the start of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which is observed annually up to December the 10th. Grange told the House that the amendment to the Domestic Violence Act will go before a joint selected committee of the Parliament for deliberation. It will address the low-hanging fruits. It also includes fines for breaching a protection order. It includes how we will treat a perpetrator who uses a firearm and several others, said Grange. She told her fellow lawmakers that 6 amendments were seen as low-hanging fruits and will be addressing that matter next week, where I will name the members of a joint selected committee. Golding had pointed out that several recommendations were made regarding amending the Domestic Violence Act. Years ago, Grange said the drafters had now completed the bill. Golding reminded of some of the recommendations that were made by the previous joint selected to amend the legislation. That committee felt strongly that the Domestic Violence Act was insufficient as a legislative framework to address the culture and sociologic, economic and emotional issue that surround gender-based violence and domestic violence in particular, said Golding. He noticed that the committee was of the view that domestic violence should be examined more deeply, not just in relation to criminal offenses, but on the whole issue of how victims of such violence can be supported and obtained redress through a system that is sensitive to their needs. So you understand now, people? The bill, the man them a pass against all of the abusive people them when you know say have them license firearm and use it in the wrong way for the wrong purposes. So all I wanna know say wanna just have a firearm for abuse certain people, like on a wife or certain people wanna think below wanna have something else coming to right now. So best believe wanna just stay focused. As me say, my people try to make the country a better place. Wanna have a firearm for protection purposes, so use it towards that. If from nobody na rob or try to kill in no farmer ways or so, it no need phone and draw on a firearm, because we see that from what enough in the country where in some wrong ways firearm users use it against certain people what we not condone right now. So let's see how it go for the future. But when next week come in, when the bill pass, me could see how it go.